So in early December, we got news about the Bleach anime and its supposed return, and they have finally given us a date for 2022, specifically around October, which will be the fall season of next year. Now, we were actually teased about this all the way back in March 2020, about the Bleach anime eventually returning, although we didn't actually know yet when it would be released, alright? So, many people at the time, I believe it was about April, were speculating either December of 2021 or sometime in 2022. So, I have linked the new trailer for Bleach in the description below if you want to check it out as well. And they actually give the information about the release date, alright? So, now that they've finally given a release date for it, I'm going to discuss some of the things that the Bleach anime has the opportunity to improve on from the manga, because I remember reading apparently that Kubo had supposedly ended it faster than he originally wanted to. So, there are a couple things I want to talk about, but let's go ahead and first talk about the Zero Squad, because for the longest that I can remember, since I first finished reading the Bleach manga, the Zero Squad has been one of my biggest disappointments, and I actually made a video about this all the way back in 2019, so I will leave a link to that video in the description below, because I actually did rant about the Zero Squad in that video. So yeah, let's go ahead and first refresh your memory. So, all the way back in the Arrancar arc, so that was during the Aizen saga, I guess, when they're fighting all these Arrancars, Yamamoto mentioned early on that about Aizen's goal being to kill the Soul King, and that he's protected by the Zero Squad. Now, we never actually see the Zero Squad yet until the final saga, the 1,000-Year Blood War, but they were mentioned all the way back during the Arrancar arc, alright? So, these guys were teased to also be stronger than all of the Gotei 13 combined. So, all of the squads, all the 13 Court Guard squads, all of them combined were no match for the Zero Squad. That's according to what one of the captains said. I believe it was the captain of the 12th squad, or maybe it's Mayuri. I think that was him who said that. I'm gonna go in and double check, but yeah, he said something around that line. So when we saw the Zero Squad members, they had some interesting designs, but all in all, I was very excited to see how they would fare against Juhavak and all of his Quincy's. And then we got to the fight, and then we only saw Ichibei actually giving a good fight. Now, he was the only one out of all the Zero Squad members who got a good fight. So, I think Oetsu Nimaya did have some good feats as well, but all in all, the rest of the Zero Squad members were disappointingly off-screen. So, I said in my other video that they were hyping these people up for years, and then they got off-screen just like that. And like I'm saying before, like, we could have had something like, if you remember in Infinity War, we had the Battle on Titan, which it utilized all these characters. They could have done something like that for the Zero Squad fighting all the Quincy's, alright? And they didn't do that. So, I'm thinking that the opportunity could be possible in the Bleach anime. Now, you might be telling me that, well, it's not in the manga, so are they actually going to do it? Well, in Dragon Ball Z, they have had some scenes in the anime when it wasn't in the manga. And also, another good example is Yu Yu Hakusho, specifically the last saga, the last season, where Yusuke and Yomi were fighting. A lot of the scenes that we saw in the anime were not in the manga, so they had the opportunity to capitalize on the wasted potential when the Bleach anime eventually returns. So I'm hoping that the Zero Squad gets done justice when the anime comes back. All right, so that's it for the Zero Squad. Let's talk about my next point, where we're going to talk about some bankais that we were not able to see, like maybe Ukitake or even Aizen himself. Like, we didn't actually see their bankais in the final saga. So, I remember Kubo promising, I don't know if he promised actually, but I know there was a source all the way back in 2015 where I saw something like Kubo would eventually give Ukitake a bigger role, and that he would actually be cured of his sickness. I believe people at the time were hyped up seeing him with the black hair, because you know Ukitake has white hair because of his sickness, so that's the reason why. But then we didn't actually see him do much aside from, I mean, he did save the world from collapsing when he took the place of the Soul King temporarily, but all in all, we didn't really see Ukitake do too much in the final arc, and that was a disappointment as well. So and the same thing goes for Aizen, where he did at least put up a good fight, but we didn't really see his Bankai. And also, like, that's been one of my mysteries. I mean, it's one of my biggest mysteries for a while, where I wanted to see how they would have topped Kyoka Suigetsu as his Shikai, because, you know, Aizen, even without his Bankai, is already very OP. So it is possible that if he had seen his Bankai, he could have probably turned the tide at least on the final fight. Now, I'm not saying have him beat Yuha Vak, but at least have him show his Bankai, at least exhaust all of his powers. Because we only saw him use the Hogyoku at the time and his Shikai, but we didn't really see him use his Zanpakuto's Bankai at all. So that's one thing that I'm hoping that they could probably show. So for Ukitake, like, I am sure he has a Bankai, because, I mean, I haven't really read the novels, but I'm sure they would have confirmed it. And also, it's one of the captain, like, requirements in the first place. You have to have a Bankai in order to, like, get it. The only exception was Kenpachi Zaraki, so I'm sure Ukitake should have a Bankai. And I think also Shinji, we didn't really see him use his Bankai either, so that's one thing that I want to see in the anime. They had the opportunity to do this, alright? So let's go ahead and go to my final point, where we want to see the final fight with Yuha Vak, Ichigo, Ishida, and Aizen. Now, this one especially bit the final fight of the entire manga, and it was a disappointment as well. Like, I mean, I know some people, this actually got more mixed reception than I expected. I was actually expecting to see more people disappointed, but apparently some were satisfied with it, so I guess you do you. But for me personally, I thought that this fight was a bit too short, especially when you consider how overpowered Yuha Vak is by this point. Like, he has the Almighty, he has absorbed the powers of the other Quincy's that were dead, and then at the same time, he has pretty much one of the most powerful abilities in the entire manga. And we see Ishida doing, like, you know, he had his plot armor arrow, and then Ichigo was able to successfully, I guess, kill him. But I mean, for somebody as powerful as Yuha Vak at this exact time, that would have been the best time for Aizen to have done his Bankai, because I know that Kyoka Suigetsu is already overpowered, but for a main enemy as equally overpowered like Yuha Vak, Aizen could have finally exhausted all of his powers, and then he would have really sold to the viewers how powerful the final villain is. Like, that's something that I was excited to see, because I was wondering at the time when Ichigo first fought him, I was like, yeah, this guy is way too powerful. So I was just like, oh yeah, but Aizen himself is very powerful, and we still haven't seen his Bankai either. So at least I was wondering, could this be the moment that Aizen revealed his Bankai? But then I was reading the final page, and I'm like, oh no, it never happened, you know? I was kind of hyped for something that didn't actually take place. So I think that would have been a good time to have Aizen show his Bankai, especially when you realize that Aizen has never really had a need to use it before. So if Yuha Vak is the first villain to actually push Aizen to use that, that would have sold to us that Yuha is insanely overpowered, and that it really required everyone's best efforts in order to put him down. So now, like I'm saying before, that even though the manga didn't show it, it doesn't really mean that the anime can't show it either, because like I already brought up the Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball Z examples where they have shown some stuff that were not in the manga. So at the same time, we need to also see how I guess Yuha did not expect Ishida to shoot that arrow. Cause you know, like I'm saying like before, like his power is to see the future and transform the future. So with an ability like that, I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't see Ishida firing that arrow, because that was like one of my biggest head scratchers at the time when I was reading the last few chapters. It was Bleach chapter 684, so if you guys want to reread it again, you'll see what I'm talking about. That's the time where I was just like, huh? How did that happen? How did that happen? You know? So, yeah, I guess with the anime coming back, they have the opportunity to improve on that, and I guess that's it. That's all I gotta say. So those are my top 3 that I actually mentioned this in my other video, which I will leave a link to in the description below. But hopefully they successfully utilize this opportunity. They really have a great chance to pull this off. But I guess we will see next year, alright? So thank you very much for watching. Have a great Christmas, and I will see you in the next video. And if you guys want If you guys want to hear something that I didn't say in the video, well, leave a comment down below. But I'll see you in the next one. Raphael out.